Hey, deserving listeners, it's time to continue our journey watching 90 Day Fiancé. Let's get to the show.
But in case that I need, I will take it back.
Right. Obviously, you guys were broke up and you still had that phone, right?
Yes, like, because when I broke it up with
Larissa,
him...
Listen, like he could have reasonable cause to like report the phone stolen.
Asking him to report my phone stolen, that I have everything, that this phone is mine, okay? Go ahead.
Why would you be so willing to let him call the cops over this? This is.
No, because it's my phone. It's my phone. He's gonna call the cops because I take my phone.
All right, interesting plot development here. So, if I'm understanding the circumstance, they were together before, and Larissa bought Eric a phone. And Eric thought it was a gift, and she thought it was a borrowing, a lending. They broke up, and she didn't ask for the phone back. Eric kept the phone and thought, okay, it was a gift. It's my phone. They get back together. Larissa looks into the phone, and my cat wants to chime in. You can't see my cat, but here's her tail. And then she looked into the phone. She looked at what he was doing on the phone, and then she took it back. She broke up with him, I think, and then she took it back. And now he is threatening to call the police, saying that she stole his phone. And she is worried about being deported if she gets reported for another crime, which her lawyer has told her is very important to avoid. So let's see what happens here.
Cheapy is a chargeable offense, don't you?
Okay, David, you don't need to be between us. Why he does a man and he talks to me?
I'm trying to be.
No, you don't need, sweetheart. My phone, I have proof.
I'm not saying. I'm trying.
No, go live your life. Leave me alone, dude.
Find a way to give to him. You cannot be in a relationship with somebody who threatened to call the cops on you, especially on your situation. If he called the cop on you, even if you don't do anything, you're gonna get arrested because you have a record and he doesn't have anything.
Yeah, it's quite a conundrum. It's quite a sticky situation.
Let me see. You think he knows you are here?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Amazon.
Ai.
Okay, so they were worried that Eric might have called the cops already, and it was just an Amazon delivery.
I don't know where are my kids. Can you open the door, please?
Huh?
Can I enter the house?
You bet. Do you have the phone so that way I can log out?
Yeah. I want to talk to you, Eric. David, you can leave the room, please.
Oh, interesting. So I don't know what's happening, but she's going back to the house to deliver the phone so that he won't call the cops. What he just said was, do you have the phone so I can log out? That makes a lot of sense to me. That for Eric, he's like, you stole the phone. At the very least, give me a chance to log out of everything. I don't want you to be logged into all my things. I mean, that would be very scary for me. If someone took my phone and everything was logged in and they actually knew how to get into all things, that would be terrifying. So maybe that's what he's wanting. Let's see what happens right here.
You all on him treating me by the cops.
How are we to talk when all you're doing is accusing me of talking to these women?
Look at what you stole, roast to the guy. You say that the sex was bad.
You're digging up the dead, girl.
All the sex was bad? Why you a lot of times?
You brought all this upon yourself. Chasing down my ex-girlfriends
That you
who
was
were
asking,
irrelevant.
asking
no,
her.
I wasn't texting them.
Asking
You
her.
and I broke up at the time, just like we did for 2 months.
Don't scream. Don't scream.
No, you're yelling at the top of your lungs.
Don't scream. You promised that you change it. You promised
You
that...
promised you change.
Why are they even having this conversation right now? This could only result in bad things for both of them. If they want to work things out or break up in a way that's amicable, then great, but I don't understand what they want to win, and that's what people want to do, but when you try to win, you lose. So this is hard to watch.
I want you to tell me what you say about me.
Do you want to remember all the things that are in the other room that you either need to unpack or pack and deliver to another premises? What do you want to do?
I already told you.
I don't want drama. I don't want nonsense. I don't want exes and time spent with other people that was in our past to come about in between us. Whatever I said then may not have been exactly what I was feeling. Maybe it was more out of anger. Can't you understand that?
Are they making up right now? I thought that was not an option given how they were talking. But okay, so now they're in a zone where they're trying to work things out. Okay, so he's trying to say, I was angry at the time. That's why I said those things. It wasn't how I really felt. Is that what he's saying? Let's continue watching.
Larissa, I'm sorry I said the things that I said.
No, I don't want
to
sorry.
these
I
other
want them to
women.
tell me everything that you told for each girl and for Colt about my
How
immigration.
can I remember? I'd have to see screenshots to remember what was said.
Okay, so take
in
it
the
the
long
phone and go through your screenshots that you have a lot.
All right, so I will commend him because when they first talked about this, I was saying, hey, Eric probably should just apologize and say, yeah, I'm sorry for saying those. You don't have to say that you're a terrible person for saying those things. You could just, in your mind, be thinking, well, she just dumped me. She texted, we were together for months, and then I get this text that she wants to break up. And yeah, I was devastated. I was very hurt, and I was with my parents, and I was venting and saying all these horrible things because I was really angry. And yeah, a random person happened to be there and hear all that. And then I didn't know, you can think that in the back of your mind, but in the front of your mind and out of your mouth, you can say, yeah, I'm sorry that you heard that. I'm sorry that I said that. That must have been really horrible to hear. It's not really how I felt about things. I was really upset at the time. If he just would have started with that, I'm guessing this whole thing could have been avoided, but he said it now, and I want to commend that.
I feel you owe me an apology.
Oh, you? A loser apology?
A
For
loser?
talking about my vagina?
And you're a winner?
For a string in
Are
a
you a
strange
winner?
that you met 3 hours?
This loser that you're with and living inside the house with? And where's the phone so I can log out of the ID already?
The phone, Eric, is in my room, under the bed. Turn off. I'm going to
Okay,
bring
can
it
you
to
go
you.
grab it, please? I honestly have doubts about Larissa and I making it together. I did not.
Really? I mean, yeah. I mean, at this point, yeah. So from the way he's talking, it's like he's saying that, we had a little fight, and okay. To me, it looked like a really massively destructive fight. But maybe to him, it's like this minor issue. But anyway, let's continue watching.
But unfortunately, I don't see that we can get out of the situation. What he did was very serious.
Rolling
Sorry,
it up for you.
Bitch.
Okay.
I feel destroyed. I feel sad. I wish Eric could be honest to me, hugging me and say, hey, I'm going to tell you one time the truth. And I'm someone that I don't have a lot of sexual experience. So if I was doing something wrong, he should come to me and tell me. No, not talk about it, everything to the girls.
Okay, now, for one of the first times, honestly, we are seeing her genuine vulnerability, which is sad that she is sad, but good that she can feel that she can communicate that she can feel that she is okay to feel that. We've seen a lot of anger from her, and in this moment, she is expressing something that brings a tear to my eye, really, that hearing these insults that he was saying to people about how she was bad in bed or something, that's a sensitive topic for her, which of course that makes sense. Most people are sensitive about that. And it really hurt her. And if they had managed this conversation differently, she could have expressed this and he could have taken care of her in that moment and really apologized. And it could have been a reparative moment. And I'm worried that for both of them, this is just going to be another terrible, a narrative of a terrible relationship in their past, making it harder for them to trust people in the future, and also more reason to feel ashamed of yourself, more reason to blame yourself, like, what's wrong with me? And yeah, I am gross sexually, or whatever it is that she's worried about. But yeah, it's just really unfortunate. There was such an opportunity there for him to apologize for her. So two things could have happened. She could have expressed this, and he could have apologized and helped her with that. If both those things happened at the same time, then they could have still broken up. But as it is, I just worry about the compounding of damage that has happened to both of them in terms of relationships. Hey, deserving listeners, as you know, I'm constantly recommending that people go to therapy. We all need therapy from time to time. One of the options available that is definitely worth checking out is BetterHelp.com. So if you're looking for a therapist, I would give it a try by going to BetterHelp.com/Kirk. Make sure you use the /Kirk because you get 10% off your first month, and it helps us out. I get a lot of emails from you saying that you're looking for a therapist. As you watch these videos, I know many of you have been motivated to find your own therapist, but I know it can be really hard to find a good one to work with. Like I said, one of the options available to try is BetterHelp.com/Kirk. And you should know that this service is available to clients worldwide, which is amazing. I've been told that you can start communicating with your therapist in under 24 hours. You can message with your counselor anytime. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions. And I've been told that it's often less expensive than in-person therapy. So go to BetterHelp.com/Kirk to get 10% off your first month of therapy today.
About my intimacy, it's very sad. I feel very bad as a woman.
This also makes me wonder about the first couple seasons with Colt and Larissa. Was she talking this way in that season, and did they just choose not to show us those scenes? Because we didn't see any of this. I didn't see any of this side of Larissa in the first two seasons at all. And I would just wonder, like, what are they editing out? I don't know. There's just no way for me to know at this point, but it's just a question mark, I guess.
I feel sad because I went to talk to the girls and to ask you, but I knew that you're never gonna tell me. But why did you say that? If it was too bad, why
Because
would
in
you
the
call me
time
to
of
me and
in the
tell
time
me?
of talking to somebody new after you get out of a relationship, you don't necessarily think what you're saying, and you'll say anything to anybody to intrigue them to want to be better than your ex.
Okay, so she's asking, why would you say those things about me? And he's doing a thing that people will do, is to avoid vulnerability, you generalize and you say, well, when people, blah, blah, blah. So he's saying, you know, when you are in a situation, then you try to impress people instead of saying and taking responsibility for your own feelings of, well, at the time I was very hurt, and I was, you know, instead of generalizing it's just a tip for y'all when you're communicating about something that's sensitive to another person. It's much more likely to go well depending on the situation. And of course, get your own couples therapy if you need it. But a general tip for communication is to speak from your own feelings and to say, well, for me, this is how I was feeling at the time, and this is what happened.
I feel like you should feel great because Larissa don't lot of wee. So she's not too much experience, you know, in her life.
I did feel good about that, but you also didn't have experience in communicating about our relationship to me.
So again, instead of addressing one thing at a time, they're blasting each other at the same time. So she's expressing what she was hurt by, and he could just apologize. Yeah, you know, I said those things. I'm so sorry. I can't believe that you had to hear that. It must have been really hurtful. It's not really how I feel about things. I'm really sorry. End of topic. And then he could say, and, you know, let me talk about something that I feel hurt about, you know, and just take your turns. And be slow about it instead of doing it all at the same time and no one ever gets their needs met.
These women in the past of the time when we were broken up mean nothing. I understand how you feel. I really do. And I do apologize for the things that I did say to those women about you after we broke up. But it also starts back to square one, that you shouldn't have gone to these women in the first place looking for trouble.
I apologize for my part because when we get back together, I should forgive everything.
This is great. They could have avoided that whole fight if they just would have started from this place. But they eventually got there, and, you know, a lot of couples on the show particularly never get there. So 2 thumbs up. Commend them both.
And I'm sorry for the things that I said.
He's not someone that like to show, I have money, but he hasn't. I really would like to be able to buy another things. But also, I would like to do a booby job and a nose job.
Why?
I really don't like my boobs. They don't look that great.
Your boobs are great.
It's about my satisfaction as a woman.
All right, so there's nothing wrong with making a request and saying like, hey, could you give me some money for this? There's nothing wrong with that. But from my understanding for Eric is that he's not super dedicated to the relationship. They broke up already, and from my take of what he's been saying is like, yeah, let's be casual, let's see how things go. Now, she says that he has a lot of money, but if he has a lot of money, why didn't he have his own phone? I don't know. There's just no way to know. Let's see how they do this. Now, there's nothing wrong with making a request, and there's nothing wrong with saying, no, I don't really feel like paying for that. And then you work it out and you take care of each other in the process. This isn't inherently a fight waiting to happen. It's all about how you navigate it. Let's see how they do it.
This is very important to me because I lost my confidence after I gave birth. My boobs look smaller and I always be self-conscious. When Eric was telling disrespectful things about our sexual life, it made me feel very sad as a woman. So I feel like my booby job is gonna boost my ego and I look exactly what he desired.
All right, so we're not getting a ton of detail there, but according to what she just said there was she had a child and afterwards she didn't feel good about her body. And then when he said those negative things about her sexual life and about their sexual life in bed, it hurt her feelings and she felt even more shame. Perhaps it manifested as body shame. And her solution is to have surgery to change her body in various different ways, her nose, her breasts. And she wants money from him to do that. All right. So I don't know, and maybe she has a whole other life outside of that sentence and that statement and that approach. But what I would hope for anyone in that situation is that they could address their shame in a more direct way other than trying to alter their body to please other people or to look a certain way, because that doesn't usually solve the underlying shame. And there are people who actually will do that. They will be in a constant state of chasing the perfect look as a way of reducing their shame. And when they cross a certain threshold, for a temporary amount of time, they will have less shame. They'll be like, oh, now I look great. But the shame will just creep back in, and then it's like, oh, now I see this flaw in myself. Now there's this other problem that I have to change. And it's this constant rat race of trying to outrun your shame, and you can't do that. What usually helps is to go to therapy and to talk with someone that specializes in body shame and in dysmorphia, maybe, depending on what the situation is, and to work on those past traumas that inform the shame to begin with. If you heal from the shame, then you're not outrunning something. There's nothing wrong with having surgery if you want to, but if that's all you do, you miss the opportunity to really heal.
All this together, you're saying, is around $25,000 to $30,000?
Yeah.
I don't have that money.
You do.
You want me to pay for it, or you want to borrow the money?
Borrow the money.
You want to borrow it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Why are you so nervous?
because you're asking me for $25,000 to $30,000, we're not even married, to make you feel more confident. I would need a contract and
Yeah, we make a contract.
and an interest rate.
Okay, let's make a contract.
No. I mean, this is not me as a therapist talking. This is just as a citizen who has seen people go through stuff like this. This almost never ends well. All right, well, that does it for that episode. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm always curious what people have to say. In a perfect world, you would be in the room with me and we'd all be commenting and having a conversation about this. But as it is, I have to do this by myself and then wait a while to see what y'all say. And then I'm like, oh, okay. And then, it helps me to know. And just a little bit of a side note is that I will often record these in chunks. And so if you do comment, it might take a long while for me to address that comment because a lot of the episodes for this season I pre-recorded, if that makes any sense. So don't expect me to necessarily respond in the very next video. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.